Welcome to Stat News Global. I'm Ramananda Sengupta. I'm here today with Dr. Zhaksylyk Sabitov, the director of the Research Institute of Jochi Studies. And he's also a specialist in Eurasian studies, more or less, I would say.
In political science, in international relations, regional area studies.
I think that's a big long
history.
Yeah. And we're here at his office in Astana to talk about not just the SEO summit, but more to do with the general history of Kazakhstan in a very brief manner, because, you know, it's a very interesting history from what I've understood, a little bit that I've learned. And then we will talk a little bit about what the SEO means to Kazakhstan. You know, when we talk about the SEO and what it means. Thank you so very much for joining us, sir. I appreciate you taking time out for this. I'm really grateful. If you could just, you know, quickly frame Kazakhstan in the current context, in the Eurasian context, how would you describe it?
You know, Kazakhstan is a descendant of early nomadic empires, like Hunno Empire, Turkic Kaghanate Empire, and Genghis Khan Mongol Empire.
Right.
Yeah, and Kazakhs, one of the descendants of the a lot of nomadic ethnic groups that form that move in different parts of Eurasia.
Right.
And we should understand that the nomads make a lot of impact on world history. They had a lot of impact on world history.
Yes.
For example, you know that a lot of nomads go to the west, like Attila, to Roman Empire, or to the south, like Great Mongols in India. Yeah, and they have had a good and important part in the world history. And Kazakhstan is one of the countries who can share and keep nomadic heritage.
Yeah. What does that mean? I mean, share what?
Try to keep and try to save nomadic heritage. Yeah.
Okay.
And we understand that we were nomads a century ago. But now we're a modern country,
You're a nation.
and and we understand that we have nomadic past, and now we're one of the strong countries who had a lot of economic growth and also had a medium impact on the regional policy.
Right.
Yeah.
When did this shift happen from a nomadic state to actual?
During the Soviet era, during the Soviet Union,
Okay.
when Soviet Union began, we were nomadic people. And after the collapse of Soviet Union, we try to build a new state and to recover all our traditions. And using all traditions and new modern tensions, we built our country.
But wouldn't that, need for somebody to sit there and tell all the other Kazakhs that, look, you have a homeland now?
There are a lot of Kazakhs who live abroad, Kazakhstan, in Russia, in China, in Mongolia, in Uzbekistan.
Right.
Some of them come to Kazakhstan, tell that it's our motherland, that's why we need to live in this area, in this country. That's why, as I remember, more than 1 million people come from Kazakhs, ethnic Kazakhs, who come from different countries to build this country.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
No.
But it would be unfair to, let's say, compare it to, let's say, Israel, because that's a religious thing, and here it's an ethnic thing.
We have dual attitude to the nation building. First of all, we should understand that during the reign of our first president, he used two concepts of nation building. First is like Kazakh ethnic nation, another is Kazakhstan nation. But now this situation changed because new president has his own ideas about nation building. First of all, he wants that all our citizens should be one civic nation. That's why he tries to fight against Soviet legacy. And you know that in Soviet legacy, there is no any civic nations. It's only ethnic groups. It's absolutely nation. It's like you born with this blood. That's why you will be anyway, but this ethnic group. And you know that in the modern political science, you can be any nation you want if another representative of these nations can tell that you are ours.
But at the same time, one of the things that I sort of, really admire about, I don't know much about Kazakh history, is that you're also willing to accept a lot of diversity.
Yeah, our international relation policy try to make big diversity because it's like a multi please how to call
Okay, like a mixture kind of a thing.
well can you ask the question again?
Yeah, so, for instance, when you said that, all the Kazakhs came together and they made this land, there are other countries where people came together and made a land, but they said, it's only for us and not other people can come. Whereas here, I noticed that you are welcome in other people of other ethnicities, religions. They're all welcome here to come and stay. At least that's what I've understood. So would that be a correct assessment, that you also welcome diversity?
Yeah, we should understand that everybody who wants to be citizen of Kazakhstan, he can do it. He can do it, but he will need to make some requirements. Yeah,
Of course, definitely. There has to be some adjustments.
it's like in other countries, they have the same practice. That's why I think everybody can do it. First of all, we should understand that population of Kazakhstan is not so big.
Right.
It's like 20 million of population. Some our friends tell that the number of population of Kazakhstan is equal as the usual mistake during the census of China. Population, yeah. When they try to evaluate the population of China, they tell us it's like 1 billion population plus minus 20 million. Yeah. And we should understand that Kazakhstan is not so big. If we compare it with China, with India, with Pakistan, with Russia, that's why we should understand that we are big by area, but small by population. And we should understand that this big area, nice in the world, it's good our heritage of our ancestors, but we should keep it.
I would like to put it very differently. I think you also need to be big at your heart. That, okay, I'm willing to accept others, and this is just not my place.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
What can I...
I said, what I was trying to say is that it's not necessary that just because your area is big, that you say, oh, anybody is welcome to come and stay here. You have to have a big heart also, to accept.
Yes.
That is important.
Yeah,
because-
yes.
Yep. So let's come back to the present. We have the SCO summit now happening.
Okay.
How important is the SCO in sort of the Kazakh frame of things? Because, they've been hosting it for quite a while, and you have all these, leaders coming in. How important is it?
Explain your question.
How important
What?
is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting that's going on today and tomorrow?
Yeah, we should understand that China and Russia are one of the biggest neighbors of Kazakhstan.
Right.
And anyway, if you have the same geographic position, you should be friends of your neighbors. And you shouldn't fight with them.
Right.
That's why Kazakhstan, Russia, and China have common problems. They try to solve it. That's why to cooperate in one or different spheres, they built this organization, and they try to work in this direction to solve our common problems.
But, you've also seen cases like, let's say, Ukraine, where you have a problem with Russia, and just because, Russia came and tried to...
Kazakhstan has no problems with Ukraine and Russia. First of all, we should understand that the conflict of Ukraine and Russia, most of the population of Kazakhstan, they think that Ukraine is right in this conflict. Yeah, it's like is right side of history. That, and they try to fight against the not good state.
Right.
Yeah, but if we use political realism, we should understand that Kazakhstan can be with heart with Ukraine, but with our minds we should be neutral because we have big neighbor Russia, and we shouldn't have problems with Russia, and it's one of the our main points of our international relations. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, in strategy, and also we Kazakhstan during the last decade, last 5 years maybe, they make strong relations with China.
Right.
Yeah, our president knows Chinese. He can speak Chinese with
President
China's leaders. Yeah,
Okay.
he can speak a lot of languages. So that's why it's really great when he can solve a lot of problems with the common language of the president of different countries. And he used China to show that this region is the territory, the area of the peace. Nobody wants to have war here.
Right.
Yes, that's why, first of all, we not understand all details about Ukraine-Russian conflict, but we should understand that Kazakhstan has his own national interests, and he wants and Kazakhstan should be neutral in this conflict. But with our hearts, with our souls, we understand that the Ukraine nation is more
In trouble.
right in this conflict.
Okay. You mentioned, China and Russia, but I would say, and let's not say Kazakhstan, but most of the Central Asian republics, or even during the Soviet Union, they had a very good relationship with India as well.
Yeah.
We have a lot of history going back, much way back into the Soviet times.
When I was child, I saw a lot of Indian cinemas. Yeah. Zita and Gita.
Right.
About vengeance. I don't remember.
Raj Kapoor and all those.
Yeah. And a lot of. I remember during the Soviet era, it was a lot of cinema in our cinema.
Has that changed now? Do you see?
Yes. Now we have different situation. We didn't know Indian culture. I know, for example, but most of our population didn't know. They didn't know a lot of information about India. It's like it's like we can compare if India was in different continent, for example.
Right.
But we live close by geography. But our society, our state is not close with India.
Right.
Yeah, culture and another.
For, if you see it from the Indian position, there was a time when, when the Soviet Union was a big friend at that time, and particularly the Eurasian thing. But now I think a lot of Indians are looking towards the West.
Yes.
So I think they've forgotten that we have this long, ancient cultural ties. Mainly, I think it has to do with language, perhaps. Language is a slight.
But as I remember, a lot of Indian students study here in Kazakhstan. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that it's people have forgotten. But I personally feel that the relationship has become...
Yeah. I think, a lot of countries in the world try to think to the West, because they want to be highly developed countries, and it's usual state of mind of a lot of younger population in different countries. For example, I think in Kazakhstan we have the same situation. They also want to see our country be like Western countries, and India is has the same situation.
Is that something you're all right with? You're okay with it?
Oh,
because you mentioned that Kazakhstan, because it has its own unique identity.
Yeah, it's complex question. Complex question. Yeah.
I'm just asking you personally. Are you happy with that?
I think that Kazakhstan should have his own brains, because now we have different situations. Different countries want to use Kazakhstan. For example, one country wants to use Kazakhstan against another country,
Right.
and every country wants to use Kazakhstan against another country. And now we should understand that we shouldn't also play another play games of different countries. We should have our own game. Yeah, that's why I think we should do it. And now, after the 2 years of war in Ukraine, Kazakhstan, it's like nobody can believe 10 years ago or 5 years ago that Kazakhstan will be the island of freedom in this region.
Right.
Yeah, because now in different countries who are neighbors of Kazakhstan, they have a lot of problems with democracy, with human rights. We have also some problems in these directions, but not so much as our neighbors.
Of course.
Yeah, that's why it's very interesting for us, because now, 5 years after the reign of our second president, we have different situation. And in our country, our state tried to listen to all citizens. And if only small group of citizens wants to tell something to our government try to listen to them and try to solve their problems. And so it's very interesting, because nobody can believe in this situation if it after 10 years ago or 5 years ago.
That's I was coming to that question in the sense that if you look around at some of the other stans which surround you, many of them have become very religiously oriented and things like that.
What?
Whereas Kazakhstan, I notice, is very, very secular.
Yeah.
I mean, visible thing of wearing your religion on your sleeve like that. Who has made that kind of a policy in place? Who has that come?
I think it connected with the absence of ideology. If you have no any state ideology, your ideology will be covered by religion. And that's why I think, because religion is like, it's very simple ideology. They can tell you simple recepts, how to behave, how to do, what's the ideal state, what's the ideal ruler, president. That's why I think this problem connects only with the absence of state ideologies. Because if you have no any state ideology,
Right.
that's why religion can cover it.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. Coming back to the SCO, Kazakhstan is also very rich in natural resources. We have gas, oil, other fuels, this, that. You also have a lot of people, eyeing that and saying, I want some, or give me some, and think that. Do you see a lot of people coming here to sort of try and exploit those resources from your country?
A lot of people try to
Exploit your resources that, you give me mining rights to this place, or you give me your oil.
Oh, I think for last 5 years we have another situation. For example, first decade of our first president was really unfair in this sphere, because some foreign investors come and try to sign the contracts where the rights of Kazakhstan was really low. Yeah.
Right.
Now we have different situation, and I think every investor should understand that he should protect the rights of our citizens, not to be like a person who wants only money and to only have. It's like it's not population slaves.
Right.
Yeah, and now we have different situation. I think last 5 years the situation changed. Yeah.
Okay, so I know you're busy. I know that you have a lot of things. Let me ask you a last question. Again, let me come back to the SCO. The SCO, you correct me if I'm wrong, was originally started more to do with solving all the border issues between Russia and China and some of the states. Then once that was done, we'll talk about terrorism. We'll talk about connectivity. We'll talk about all these kind of things. Given that, what are your personal views on, let's say, something like the Belt and Road Initiative? There are very conflicting views on that. What do you think about the Belt and Road Initiative? Do you think it's a good thing to happen, or do you think one should be careful about it?
It depends on the side you see this situation, this initiative. Because, for example, for Kazakhstan, it's good initiative. But, for example, for another countries, it can be not, it's not good. It's like Chinese expansion and a lot of other things. And we should understand that every country has his own national interests.
Of course.
And in this case, in this initiative, Kazakhstan is really glad with this initiative because this initiative cannot cannot fight against our national interests, and in other countries will have their own point of view,
Right.
And I think it's different situation, complex situation, because we should understand that there are some neighbors of China who wants to be friends. There are some states who wants not to be friends with China, and every country has his own point of view. He has his own national interests.
Why I brought that up was that, there have been reports of, debt traps for various countries like Sri Lanka and others where China gives money and then tries to,
We should understand, but it's like I think international relations is like the sphere of the wild nature, and you should understand that big country wants to.
No, but what I notice is that your balance of trade is not like very heavily skewed in favor of China or anybody else. It's very balanced.
Yeah, that's very balanced. It's like hard point of our international relation policies strategy. It's I think it has begun 30 years ago when we get our independence. We should understand that we shouldn't be the younger brother of any country who are neighbor of Kazakhstan. We are equal. Even if we have small population, we have small economy. It's not the reason to think that we are younger brother of another country. Right. That's why, and if somebody wants to be us younger brother, we have another neighbors who can tell that you are not younger brother and you are not senior brother, and we are equal in this area. It's this region of peace, not of the war.
Let me ask you a very last quick question. Globally, there's a lot of conflict going on. You have the Ukraine crisis, you have the West Asia crisis, Africa, there's a lot of crisis going on. What do you think are some challenges that Kazakhstan must look out for or be careful about in the next 5-10 years? Do you see any major challenges that one should be careful about as a government, as a country? Given all the conflict that's going on around you?
First of all, Kazakhstan should keep his foreign policy in this direction. To save our territory, we should understand that in this new era of international relations, any contracts, any words of even of world big countries, they didn't play important role, because you know that when we gave to the Greek countries our nuclear weapon, they told us nobody can attack you. We are guarantee. The same guarantee had Ukraine and Belarus. And we after this war, we understand that there is no any guarantee in this new world, because it's new complex world, and everybody can try to do it with Kazakhstan like Ukraine. But I think if we keep our direction of our foreign policy, of our internal policy, we will get a good situation. Because now it's very important, because that we now our political elite is really is high level if we compare with Kazakhstan 10 years ago. And I think if we save the same directions, the same tensions, we will get more results. Yeah.
China is a big partner.
China, one of the big partners. We should understand that China is a really big economy, big country. But we should understand that China wants to conquer Kazakhstan, because China had a lot of problems now. You know that the level of births in China going down.
Yes.
It's a really big problem. I think after 10 years, a lot of population from Central Asia go to China to work, like laborers. And it's big problems with China, with in other countries. You know that South Korea, Japan has the same problem. Yeah, and I think in this situation, China is more interested in the labor migration.
Going back to to help it rather than expand it.
Yeah. Because no one now is medium Chinese people live higher in economies than in the population of Central Asia, and nobody wants to go to Central Asia and to live in worse conditions, and that's why we shouldn't afraid of China expansion, for example. But we should understand how it works, because now our population didn't know. We only know Russia. We didn't know China. We didn't know India. We didn't even know Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan.
But there you
Yeah. We live close, but that's, and we have the another galaxies that not connected with our galaxy, the information galaxy. Well, half of our population lives in Russian or Ukrainian context, but we should live in one Central Asian context.
And what about India? Is there something that you feel can be done to?
I think the India will be the first country by population. It's like it had big opportunities in economy, and I think we should understand how we can get our resources to India, because India will need these resources, and we should understand that how we can make, for example, Afghanistan or Iran the like territory is with peace, who can be the territory we can move our resources to India. We should understand that they should be good countries, not terroristic, not or evil countries. Yeah.
That's a positive way of looking at it. Thank you so very much, sir. I really appreciate you taking time out.
Thank you.
That was Dr. Zhaksylyk Sabitov, Director of the Research Institute of Jochi
Ulus studies.
Talking to us about Kazakhstan, where the SCO Summit is being held. And he gave us some very interesting perspectives of Kazakhstan and how it has grown over the last thing. And he's also spoken about India. I do hope you enjoyed this particular episode of The Gist, and I look forward to having you again with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till we meet again, this is Ramananda Sengupta signing out. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah.